welcome back to my channel. First things first, I wanted to say I was on my channel the other day just, listening to music, and I clicked on my profile and I saw that my first video had reached 600 views. And even though that might not seem like a lot, it's really cool to know that some advice that I gave as literally part of an online assignment, I uploaded that video because it was a requirement for a public speaking class that I was taking at the time. And just to know that my advice about this program that I was a part of reached over 600 people, personally, I think that's pretty cool. So this is my first video back for 2021, and I really want to make it a goal of mine to upload more videos. I know maybe it might not reach a lot of people, but I don't know. I really want to make it a goal of mine to upload more videos. So if you have any video requests that you want me to post, if this reaches possibly the same amount of people, go ahead and let me know, and I would love to do that for you. For today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience going to Cal Poly Pomona, and a little bit about what school was like there. When I selected Cal Poly as my college, there really wasn't a lot of videos about it at the time, and I feel like had I had watched something like this and learned about some of the things I'm going to tell you guys about, maybe it would have changed my decision, maybe it wouldn't have, but regardless, it would have been really great advice for me to know. So I want to go ahead and share a little bit about that with you today. Okay, sorry, I had to change the camera a little bit, and by the way, this is a lamp, and I'm not going to move it, so if it bothers you, try to ignore it. But a little bit about going to school at Cal Poly Pomona, like I said, part of what kind of inspired me to film this video, besides the fact that this would have been really great information for me to know had I had seen this for actually 5 years ago now, I'm aging myself a little bit, was because, one, it's already January. And even though it's kind of hard to believe because we're living in a pandemic and it's just kind of hard to think about the fact that people are going to be starting school given these conditions, but either way, it's going to happen and people are going to be starting college soon. And it's really exciting time in your life. And choosing a college, honestly, is difficult. It can be really difficult. It can feel like you're being pulled in a bunch of different directions and you want to make the right decision, and people can give you advice and whatever, but at the end of the day, it is your decision. And watching videos like these, I feel like are really beneficial. And another reason is because I came across this article today, which I'll be referencing. It's on my phone. Hopefully it doesn't bother you. All about, it says, academics aside, 10 factors to consider in choosing a college. And this is kind of what I wanted to go over with you guys today. And I feel like it might help you out. So the first thing it says is intensity of spirit. And this is kind of a big factor in maybe why someone might not choose Cal Poly Pomona as their college. Something I didn't realize when I picked this college was the fact that 90% of students who attend this college are commuters. So that means really most of the time they live around the area and they just go to their classes, and at the end of the day they just go home. They don't live on campus, they're not really involved in campus life and some of the extracurricular activities that are offered on the campus. They're really just there for school and school only. And I did know going into choosing Cal Poly that this was the case. However, I definitely didn't realize the extent of which that was the case, I didn't realize it was 90% of students. And kind of what that looks like is, I will say, it can be hard to make friends when you go to a commuter school because, like I said, people are just there for school and school only, and they don't stay on campus afterwards, even really to study in the library. So that is really something big that you should consider before choosing Cal Poly. Another thing to talk about is sports. I know sports are a really big passion for people, and going to sporting events, people love those. And at the big colleges, people have tailgates, and it's a really great way to meet new people and to come together and show your school spirit. And Cal Poly really doesn't have a lot of sports. They don't have a football team. They have basketball, track, cross country, volleyball. I know I'm missing some, but that's the majority of them. And like said, even though they do have home games, a lot of people do not go just because, as I mentioned before, they're there for school, and that's pretty much it. They do have a good amount of intramurals if you're looking to be involved. They do them through the Brick, which is our school's gym, which I'll talk about amenities later, but it is a really nice gym. But yeah, in terms of sports, there's really not a lot. The next thing I want to go over is campus location. So this campus is located, like said, in Pomona, California, which, if you have a car, it's not bad. If you don't have a car, and I didn't have a car my freshman year because I was living in the dorms, and you know, for a lot of people, living in the dorms your freshman year, it's kind of honestly good not to have a car because it forces you to make friends in an atmosphere where, like I said, making friends isn't typically the easiest. So I would recommend that. But like I said, if you do have a car, the area's not terrible. I don't really know how to say this nicely, but it's not in the best area in terms of maybe safety and the type of people who hang out in the city of Pomona. They do unfortunately have a good amount of gang violence, and I definitely wouldn't recommend just hanging out in the actual city of Pomona, especially not at night, and especially not ever by yourself. It's just completely like not safe, and I would never recommend it. Yeah, but in terms of outside of the city, you're not far from Anaheim, pretty close to Disney. I would go to downtown Disney a lot with my friends just to grab dinner, and that was something that I thought was really cool because for me growing up, going to Disney and downtown Disney was always a big event, you know, and it was a whole vacation. But to just drive there on a Tuesday night, I thought that was pretty cool. You're about 2 hours away from San Diego. I did a couple girls trips there for the weekend whenever we had long weekends and we didn't fly home, and that was really fun to do. You're also about 30 minutes from downtown LA and about 40 minutes, I mean obviously depending on when you go in traffic, from the beach. Laguna Beach is really nice. It's one of the closest ones to Pomona if you're going west or south, whatever. And in terms of stuff to do, like nightlife, there's one club that all of us kids who went to Pomona, Riverside, Redlands, Azusa Pacific, Pomona College, Laverne College, pretty much all around the area would go to, and it's called Flyaway. It's funny to talk about, but it's called Flyaway, and I'll insert some videos if I can and some pictures, but the thing to do on a Friday night if you were like living around the area, Chino Hills, Chino, that area, and that's like where you could go to meet kids from other colleges and like party, basically. LOL regrets. Yeah, that's like the one thing that I would recommend going to. It's 18 and older. Obviously, if you're 21, you can order drinks there. They have a bar, and it's just a cool way to meet other students. If you were like comparing this to a normal club in a different city, you would not think it was fun, but this was like the only thing we had, so we loved it. And I don't know, I had a lot of great college experiences there. One thing that was really nice in terms of location was the fact that there was like, you have like 4 airports to choose from in terms of like flying home. Like I said, I'm from the Bay Area, so flights from like the Los Angeles area to the Bay Area were never really that expensive, especially if you purchased them early. And it was nice to have those options. The closest airport is Ontario, followed by, I think John Wayne is the closest. It's in Orange County. But you can also fly out of Bob Hope or LAX, and I mean, just look at the price and figure out what's the best for you. But that was one part that was really nice about going to school there, was the options you had in terms of flights. The next thing I want to talk about is housing options. And this is a huge thing because when I had chosen Cal Poly as my school and I had gotten my housing assignment, there was no pictures online of what my dorm was going to look like. And I was really excited to try to figure out decorating and coordinating with my roommate about how we wanted to style it, because this was going to be our room for the next year. And, you know, you wanted to feel like home. But there was no pictures online. And it was really frustrating to try to figure out how much clothes to bring when you don't even know how big your closet's going to be or how big your room's going to be, basically. So I will insert some pictures of the dorm room that I was assigned to. Okay, here's little baby Juju outside of my freshman dorm room, my friend and my roommate. And here's a picture of the day that I moved out. You can kind of see how much room you have based on your side. And here's more of a complete picture as to how the overall room looked. Like I said, I did live in a double, so keep that in mind. And here's me the day that I moved out, and dear God, you guys, don't bring this much stuff. You will absolutely regret it. There's not enough room. But basically, it's a little bit different now, but there's the dorms, which is for freshmen only. And then we have something called the suites, which are more like apartment style. And then we have something called the village. So I'll get into each one. Starting with the dorms, like I said, it's for freshmen only. The one that I lived in, it was co-ed. And sometimes it could be co-ed by floor. In my case, it was co-ed just by, like, one room was girls, the next room was guys, one room was girls, the next one was guys, type of thing. And the only downside to that, I liked it because, I mean, it was good for mingling and meeting new people. And I have, like, I don't know, I feel like I connect better with guys, so it was cool to meet guy friends there. But the one downside was the fact that the girls' restroom was all the way down the hallway. So if you had to, like, pee in the middle of the night, like, it's not like you could just, like, throw in a sweatshirt and go next door. No, it was all the way down the hallway. And I had the stomach flu in the dorms my first year, and let me tell you, that was terrible. Anyways, in terms of socializing in the dorms, they did have, like, a common area with a TV where you could watch, like, you know, your normal shows. They had cable. And they also had an area where you could play pool and ping pong, and I think you could even, like, shoot hoops. And then behind that, they had a study room. So if you needed to study and you didn't feel like you could focus in your room, there's too many distractions, you could always go downstairs and study there. And that was another cool way to meet people, just studying, you know, whatever. In terms of the bathroom, because it was communal, yeah, it wasn't very clean. But, I mean, what do you really expect? There was 4 showers and, like, 2 rows of sinks and then a row of stalls. And I never felt weird in terms of, like, there not being enough privacy. The one thing I would say, and I would tell this if you went to any college that had a communal bathroom, buy shower shoes. Don't skip them. They are important. They can be gross. Yeah, but moving on, let's talk about the suites. So a lot of people would go to the suites for their sophomore year, and this was kind of more apartment style. You could have the option of having a single room, like I said, because the dorms you either lived in a double or a triple. The suites, you could have your own room, and most of the time it was 4 single rooms, and then a common living area and a common kitchen. I had a friend who stayed in here, and she really liked it. You do have the option of having a meal plan when you live in the suites. You could also just like buy your own groceries, but you could also get a meal plan. A couple times, if you're lucky and they don't have enough space in the dorms, you can get a suite for your freshman year. It is unlikely. I did have one friend who lived there her freshman year, but she had, I forget why she got to do that, but she had a special way of being able to get that. I don't remember, but it is unlikely, and I would plan on living in the dorms if you're a freshman. And like I said, freshmen have to have a meal plan, and we can talk about the food later, but they do have to have a meal plan. And then lastly, the village. I lived here my sophomore year, and that's more like a traditional apartment. Like, they have a common area, they have like a bigger kitchen, a bigger common area, and then you can either have your own rooms, in which case they would have like 4 rooms, or you could share a room. I shared a room, and I really liked that. And you would have 2 rooms with 2 people per room. Yeah. Let's get into food. So one thing I forgot to mention is that living in the village, they did have like a common area with a big TV and a bunch of couches, a piano, a place to do your laundry. They also had a computer room with a printer that you could use for free if you just brought your own paper. And they had a study room, and they also had a pool and a basketball court. You had a place to park if you got a parking pass. And they also had like their own lot right outside where if you were having visitors, your guests could park there. And that was really, really close to this grocery store that we have on campus called the Farm Store. So Cal Poly is really big in agriculture. They have a really, really great agriculture program and department. And a lot of ag students will work at this farm store, and they have fresh produce that they grow right there at the school. And it's really, really a cool place. So it was a cool place to shop, and it was super convenient because it was really close. Another option, something that I forgot to mention in terms of housing, this is much more rare, and I never ever knew anyone who lived there, but they did have a place, and it was technically on campus. It's called the Lyle Center, and I know it's all about sustainability and like living in sustainable living. I don't know that much about it. If you want me to look into it more and make a separate video about it, I definitely will, but that's another option. I'm not sure how you obtain that, but like I said, if you want me to get more information, I will do that for you. So let's move on and talk about food. So food options on campus. Like I said, freshmen are required to have a meal plan. So I had a meal plan freshman year, and then when I moved to the University Village my sophomore year, I did not have a meal plan. I lived off campus for my junior and senior year, and like I said, obviously no meal plan with that. But freshman year, I did have a meal plan. So they have 3 different like quantities of like meals that you can have on your plan. I have the smallest one because I don't really eat very much. I'm a small girl. But if you're a big eater, then trust me, there's an option for you. So our dining hall was called Los Olivos. Everyone just called it LO. And they were open and available for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then they had something called late night. So pretty much they had good options really for every time that you decided to go, and you would just swipe your student ID and they would send you right up upstairs to where you could get your food. In terms of quality of the food, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be too harsh of a critic, but it wasn't the best. I mean, they had stuff that you could definitely rely on. They always had like cereal, bagels, pizza. They had like a wok station where you could like make your own stir fry. They had like burritos. They had really good chicken nuggets, grilled cheese. They always had like veggie burgers and turkey burgers. They had a salad bar. They had like a yogurt bar. They always had desserts. I mean, it wasn't bad. They had a really good like sandwich station that looked like Subway. I got sandwiches there all the time and they were really good. In terms of other foods that they have on campus, let me think. We had like pretty much the typical university foods. We had an Einstein's Bagels. We had Starbucks, Subway. We had a Qdoba, however you pronounce it. Let me think, what else did we have? We had a round table. We had a place where you could get like frozen yogurt. We had a hibachi. What else did we have? We had a Taco Bell, Panda Express, Carl's Jr., Jamba Juice. One thing that annoyed me though about eating on campus, if you had a gift card, they never let you use it. They never let you use it because it wasn't like affiliated with like a company store is what they would say. Like I had Jamba Juice gift cards all the time and they never let me use them because they weren't at a company store, which was weird, but whatever, not a big deal. They did have a lot of like I said, they did have a lot of options though in terms of foods, a good amount. So I will say that. Moving on. All right, let's talk about Greek life, clubs and organizations, and I guess just campus life in general. In terms of Greek life, they do have Greek life. Like I said, they have options for sororities and fraternities. The fraternities that they have, they do have houses. They are in this in the city of Pomona, like where they're located. So as I mentioned before, don't go there alone. Try not to go there at night. Always take an Uber, and yeah, just don't go alone. It's not safe to be walking around in the city of Pomona at night. Absolutely not. Don't do it. And in terms of sororities, they were not allowed to have sorority houses. I guess like the city of Pomona, if more than, someone told me this, I think it's like if more than 8 girls live in a house in the city of Pomona, it's considered legally a brothel. I don't really understand. Maybe they made that up. It'd be weird if they did, but maybe they did. So in terms of like sorority events, they were always like off campus and whatever. Something that's interesting about the sororities and fraternities at Cal Poly is, I don't want to say they're very cliquey, but it's very much like a who do you know here type of situation. I hated going to like those parties because it always just felt like everyone there was like, I don't know, like I just didn't vibe with them. In terms of going out to parties and having fun, like I would have much rather have gone to that club that I told you guys about, or just gone to like a separate house party there. But yeah, I never really liked going. I mean, it's totally up to you if you want to get involved in that. I had some friends who were involved in it and they loved it, but it was not for me. But like I said, my experience is not your experience. In terms of clubs, they did have a big club fair at the beginning of the year, and also once our spring semester started, they had another one. There's a lot of opportunities for clubs at the campus, and they do have a really good club fair. However, I will say, just to the fact that it is a commuter school, they're not always like super populated and super regulated. If you want to get involved in a club, I would definitely say get involved in a club that pertains to your major. It's a great thing to put on your resume, and it's a great thing to bring up when you're trying to get an internship. But in terms of maybe social clubs, I'm not sure I would recommend them. However, completely your decision. If you are a very religious person, they do have different clubs for fellowships, and I was a part of one for a few years, and it was really nice because when I didn't have a car, they would pick me up and they would take me to church with them, and that was cool. I like doing that. Pretty much any religion, they have a club for you to feel a part of, so that was really cool. Another thing I want to talk about is diversity on campus, and this is a really big thing. Honestly, like, one of the reasons that I chose Cal Poly, it is an extremely, extremely diverse campus, and I really, really love that. Like, minorities that you would, like, not see as much if you went to a bigger college, they had at Cal Poly, and I don't know, I really appreciated that. And you know, if that's something you're scared of, maybe being a minority, like, at your college and the environment, like, I will say that you do not need to worry about it if you come to Cal Poly Pomona. Like, for real, don't need to worry about it. So to end off this video, I feel like it'd be a good thing for me to talk about advising, and I think for the last part of the video, I'll kind of go over majors and what I would consider worth it to go to Cal Poly for, and skip it to go to Cal Poly for. However, like I've said a million times in this video, disclaimer, my experience is not your experience, and choosing a college is a very personal decision, and it is one that you should make entirely on your own. So, let's get into advising, and this is the number one thing that just makes my blood boil, and it takes my gears and it grinds them, because I will say the advising at Cal Poly, it's terrible. It's terrible. I can't even tell you how many times I got screwed because an advisor told me the wrong thing. And that's an extremely frustrating, and it can be an extremely expensive bad advice given. So if you are the type of person where you don't ever really go to advising, and like you're very on your ish, you know what you need to do to get to where you want to be, and you're self-sufficient in that way, 100% you'll be fine. And that's pretty much what I learned to do, and I ended up being fine. I actually ended up being a semester early. But let me just say, if you're the type of person who needs advising and needs advice and needs counseling, like, for example, if you're going in undeclared and, you know, whatever, I'm letting you know, it is a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Yeah. Finally, let's talk about majors. I would get into financial aid in this video, however, I didn't use financial aid, so I don't have a lot of information. Like I said, if you guys want me to make a part 2 to this video, I definitely will. Just let me know. Let's go into majors. If you're a hospitality major like me, the hospitality program is incredible. It's so great. They give you so many opportunities. The clubs are amazing. The classes are so much fun. I had one advisor who was absolutely amazing. I would definitely say that it is worth it. The hospitality career fair, it's great. That's how I got my job with Marriott. They have so many companies that come to the school to speak with you and offer you internships, and they set you up amazing in terms of getting a career after college. The hospitality program, amazing. Definitely recommend. Do it. I could make a whole separate video just on the hospitality program, but if you are looking into business, I would say it's definitely worth it if you are into the the finance and the real estate, that is a really great program. I took some classes in there, and like all the professors are extremely knowledgeable. They really had a lot of information, like really great information, and I know that they have a really high rate of like getting a job after college as well in that program. I would recommend it. If you're just going in for like some more basic business stuff, maybe I would consider going to a school that's more like business focused, but completely your decision. Like I said, the agriculture department is really, really great too. I took some ag classes and they were great, really knowledgeable. They have a lot of great internship opportunities there, as well as the school is on so much land and they do so much hands-on work. They have their own gardens, they grow their own wine there. They don't have it anymore, but they had a butchering class. Like, it was crazy. And that's a program I would definitely recommend if you're looking into getting into ag business, ag science. 10 out of 10 recommend. And the last thing I would really recommend there is the engineering. The engineering classes, I had so many friends in engineering because like it's a really big engineering school. Like a bunch of people in aerospace, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, both Cal Polys. If you decide to go to SLO, amazing engineering school too. If you decide to go to Pomona, amazing engineering school. Like, definitely, if you are trying to go into engineering, this will be a great option for you. I think I'm out of breath. I think that is all I'm going to talk about in this video. Like I said, if you want me to make any more videos about my experience at Cal Poly, and I will do my best to include some pictures and some videos in here. You can look at some pictures of baby Juju, little freshman Juju. Yeah, I will do my absolute best, but I'm out of breath. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give me some requests. Thumbs this up so I know that you like it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, 2021, I'm going to do my best to upload some more videos this year. So, leave me your requests, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.